the ultimate guide to boosting your IGF-1. IGF-1, or insulin growth factor 1, is one of the most powerful hormones for muscle growth, recovery, and overall performance. Here is exactly how to max out your IGF-1 naturally without any shortcuts. What is IGF-1 and why does it even matter? It is a hormone that is produced in your liver in a response to growth hormone. It plays a key role in your muscle growth, fat loss, recovery, and bone health. It stimulates protein synthesis, improves your metabolic rate, speeds up tissue repair, and supports bone density and growth. Maximizing IGF-1 naturally is about optimizing your lifestyle, your diet, your habits to unleash its full potential. So let's talk about nutrition. Your diet is going to directly affect how much IGF-1 that your body produces. Here is what you should be eating, and here's what you should be avoiding. Protein-rich foods. IGF-1 production is stimulated by protein intake. Focus on complete proteins. I'm talking grass-fed steak, eggs, wild-caught fish, and Greek yogurt. You know the drill. Dairy products boost your IGF-1, especially milk. They contain natural growth factors and amino acids that wholly support your IGF-1 production. Healthy fats boost it. Avocados, olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish. You should be getting your carbs in for insulin regulation because insulin helps trigger IGF-1 release. So carb timing matters. Includes sweet potatoes, brown rice, oats, and fruits like bananas or berries. And if you want to know the superfoods for IGF-1 production, it is colostrum and bone broth. Colostrum is a nutrient-rich milk product. It directly enhances IGF-1, and bone broth is rich in collagen, amino acids, and supports tissue repair. You should be avoiding any refined sugars and processed foods. It doesn't need to be complicated. It really is that simple. These are going to spike your insulin without providing nutrients. And alcohol highly suppresses your IGF-1. So let's get into the exercises you should be doing to maximize this. Here is exactly how you should be structuring your training for optimal IGF-1 production. Focus on compound lifts like bench, squat, pull-ups, deadlifts, and use heavy weights when doing so. 75 to 85% of your 1 rep max, going to about 6 to 10 reps when going to failure. IGF-1 responds well to volume, so consider high volume workouts. Add accessory exercises too, like lunges or rows in your routine. Also, high intensity interval training, otherwise known as HIIT, short bursts of intense effort followed by rest. This drives your IGF-1 production through the roof. For example, 30 seconds of sprint, 60 seconds of rest, 5 times. And needless to say, you should be progressively overloading. The goal is to improve. You should see that in your exercises too. Now, if you really want to know the IGF-1 powerhouse, similar to your test, it is sleep. Most IGF-1 is produced during sleep. It's extremely closely tied to growth hormone secretion. Poor sleep will severely limit your levels that you can produce. So as I've mentioned, 7 to 9 hours per night of quality sleep. Sleep in a dark room. Darkness enhances your melatonin, which indirectly supports IGF-1 production. And avoid screens before bed. The blue light is going to disrupt your melanin and give you a worse night's sleep. Now, it's important to understand that IGF-1 does not work by itself. It's influenced by other hormones in your body. Here's how to optimize them. Insulin. Insulin's sensitivity helps regulate IGF-1. You can improve it by eating complex carbs and pairing them with protein and fat. And avoid long periods of fasting after your intense exercise. Growth hormone. Growth hormone stimulates your IGF-1. So prioritize your sleep, exercise, and fasting to support your growth hormone levels. Let's talk about the importance of cold and heat therapy. Temperature extremes are going to increase these levels and also aid recovery. Firstly, cold therapy. Things like ice baths or cold showers reduce inflammation across your entire body and promote recovery, ensuring IGF-1 production is at its maximum. You don't want your IGF-1 being wasted on chronic inflammation. Make sense? So you should be doing cold therapy after your workouts for optimal repair. Heat therapy. Saunas improve your circulation and your growth factor release. Try and spend 15 to 20 minutes in the sauna 2 to 3 times per week. And it is vital you avoid these IGF-1 suppressors. Chronic stress, sedentary lifestyle, and overtraining. These 3 things are going to be the biggest things that limit it. And if you want to go down the supplement route, here are some supplements you're going to want to take. Remember, lifestyle and diet come before supplements, always. But if you're not reaping the rewards you want, these are going to enhance it. Colostrum, straight to the source. L-arginine, some amino acid. Creatine, zinc and magnesium. These are going to support recovery and your hormonal health in a whole. And ashwagandha, reducing your cortisol. Let's talk about hydration and electrolytes. Drink 2 to 3 liters of water per day and include electrolytes in your drinks, like coconut water or Himalayan pink salt. This is going to support proper muscle function. IGF-1 is one of the keys to unlocking your full potential. Whether it's building muscle, recovering faster, or enhancing your overall vitality, by following all of these strategies mentioned, you're going to max out your IGF-1 and become healthier and more attractive. Consistent habits lead to unstoppable results. Best of luck. Okay, what are the main pitfalls with your skincare? Sometimes what we think is helping our skin is actually doing more harm than good. In this video, I will uncover the most common skincare pitfalls there are, and I'll include what you should do as alternatives. Okay, so the first thing is overusing skincare products. A lot of you guys, when you're trying to get better skin, buy a load of products and try all of them out. But using too many products or over-applying active ingredients like retinol or AHAs or BHAs can actually be worse for your skin. Overuse can actually strip your skin of its natural sebum, leading to dryness, irritation, and even more oil production as your skin tries to overcompensate. Instead, try and keep your skincare routine simple, with a good foundation or frame of reference being cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen. Also, when you're trying out new skincare products, introduce new products one at a time to your routine. Don't go changing it up and add 4 at the same time, 5 at the same time. Your skin is going to purge. Another big mistake is using harsh scrubs on your acne. You think that scrubbing at acne-prone skin with gritty exfoliants will clean out your pores. Physical exfoliation can actually irritate and inflame the acne that's already there. This is going to worsen your redness or potentially cause scarring. It also doesn't address the root cause of the acne, like bacteria or clogged pores. Instead, I would highly recommend you use a chemical exfoliant, like salicylic acid. These will penetrate your pores gently and target the acne without causing any of that irritation that you get from scrubbing. The third mistake that you might be making is picking at your pimples or blackheads. We all do it. I'm guilty of doing it, but squeezing or popping a pimple will not make it go away faster. Picking damages your skin barrier. It also introduces bacteria and increases the chance of scarring. Use spot treatments with something like benzoyl peroxide or a tea tree oil to reduce inflammation. And you should be incorporating a gentle, sulfate-free cleanser into your routine. And make sure it is suited to your skin type. The fourth mistake, over cleansing your skin. If you're someone that washes your face multiple times a day or uses really harsh cleansers to try and get that squeaky clean feel, you're probably doing more harm than good. You're stripping your skin of its natural oils, disrupting your skin barrier, which ultimately leads to dryness, increased oil production, or irritation. Instead, cap it at a maximum of 2 times a day, once in the morning, once at night. The fifth mistake, skipping moisturizer for oily skin. What do you guys think that oily skin does not need moisturizer? Well, you're wrong. Skipping your moisturizer can actually signal your skin to produce more oil. It's gonna worsen your greasiness and give the exact opposite effect you were looking for. Instead, choose something lightweight and non-comedogenic for your oily skin. For example, gel-based formulas. The sixth biggest mistake is using the wrong products for your acne. You can't treat all acne the same way. For example, you can't use a drying product for every type of pimple. Not all of your acne is going to be caused by oil production. Some are inflammatory, like cystic acne, and are going to require other treatments. Instead, as a rule of thumb, if you have clogged pores and blackheads, use salicylic acid. For red inflamed acne, instead try benzoyl peroxide, or you can consult a dermatologist's prescription treatments. The seventh biggest mistake is neglecting sunscreen. A lot of you think that sunscreen is only necessary when it's sunny out, when you're doing activities outside, but UV damage happens every day, even indoors. UV rays can penetrate windows. Sun exposure is going to accelerate your aging. If you know me, you know I like spending my time in the sun. You want to try and minimize those aging effects as greatly as you can. On the daily, I would try and apply a broad spectrum sunscreen with at least SPF 30. And if you're outdoors, reapply it every 2 or 3 hours. Another big mistake is using hot water on your face. Some of you think that really hot water is going to open up your pores. Again, hot water can strip your skin of its natural oils, causing more oil production. And secondly, your pores do not actually get bigger or smaller. They just appear more open when they're clogged. So instead, use lukewarm water every time you wash your face. Another big mistake is not changing your pillowcase frequently enough. Try and use a silk or bamboo pillowcase and change it every 2 to 3 days. Your pillowcase is most likely collecting oil, bacteria, and dirt that every night you're putting back onto your skin. Cut it out. And the last mistake is overlooking the importance of hydration. Topical treatments aren't going to help you very much if you are internally dehydrated. 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. Skincare is not always the case of just doing more. It's about doing the right things for your skin. By avoiding these common mistakes and focusing on a more gentle approach, you can build a routine that truly works for your skin. Remember, less is often more, but treat your skin with the care it deserves. Best of luck, gang. The amount of stress you have is completely changing your face. Cortisol, the stress hormone, but it's not just that, it completely affects the way you look. In this video, let's break down what happens when cortisol goes unchecked, how it leads to what is known as cortisol face, and then how to take control and feel your best. Firstly, what is cortisol and why does it matter? It's a hormone released by your adrenal glands in response to stress or low blood sugar. It plays a vital role in energy regulation, focus and alertness, inflammation control, and sleep-wake cycle. Facially aesthetic problems arise when cortisol is mismanaged, too high for too long or too low when you need it. Okay, so what do I mean when I say cortisol face? I'm talking about puffiness and swelling. It leads to a bloated or puffy appearance, especially around your cheeks. That might be the root cause of your facial bloat. It can cause skin damage. Chronically elevated cortisol breaks down collagen and elastin, leading to wrinkles, sagging skin, or just dull and tired skin in general. Another effect of cortisol face is fat redistribution. Excess cortisol actually encourages fat stores around your face, creating a rounded or moon face-like appearance. It also might be responsible for your acne. Increased cortisol triggers your oil production and your inflammation, which causes breakouts. And lastly, it can give you eye bags. Poor sleep due to cortisol disruption can lead to the dark circles that you're struggling to get rid of. Luckily, these effects are not permanent. By managing your cortisol, you can fix everything I just mentioned. So let's talk about how cortisol is going to affect your morning routine. Your cortisol is supposed to spike naturally in the morning. This is the cortisol awakening response, or CAR. However, certain habits can block this critical process. Let's talk about it. Why is morning sunlight essential? Your eyes need exposure to photons from natural sunlight to trigger cortisol release. Without this spike, you'll feel groggy, unproductive, and your hormone cycle will be completely thrown off. If you wake up in a dark room and immediately go to your phone or computer, your cortisol does not spike properly. Screens don't provide anywhere near the full spectrum of light needed to activate this response. Instead, when you wake up, step outside immediately. Spend 5 to 10 minutes in natural sunlight. I don't care if it's cloudy, UV and photons go through clouds. Ground in the morning. Not only does grounding decrease inflammation, but walking barefoot on grass can further reduce your stress and bring about more hormone balance. Real ones know I'm big on grounding. And delay your screen time until later on in the day. Avoid all screens until you've had your natural exposure to sunlight. This ensures that your cortisol spikes optimally at the right time. When your cortisol or stress remains elevated, it disrupts the key processes that keeps your face looking healthy. Cortisol breaks down collagen. This leads to fine lines, wrinkles, and sagging skin. It causes redness, puffiness, and even an uneven skin tone. It encourages fat deposits around the cheeks and neck, making your jawline far less visible. And high cortisol stimulates your sebaceous glands, causing breakouts. That's all for too much cortisol. On the flip side, too little cortisol makes you look extremely tired. Your face looks fatigued, you have that pale, lifeless skin, and your skin actually becomes slower to heal and more prone to damage. So how exactly do you master your cortisol? Well, firstly, you're gonna know when to spike it. Cortisol is useful in short bursts. Firstly, morning sunlight, like we talked about. Kickstart with a natural cortisol spike to feel energized. The second time when you want to spike it is before your workouts. Cortisol provides glucose for intense exercise. Cold showers or caffeine before training can give this effect. Equally important is knowing how to lower your cortisol for recovery and regeneration. Deep breathing and meditation, gentle exercise, try cool down. Sleep, prioritize quality sleep as always, and balanced nutrition. Eliminate your chronic stress in your life, reduce your screen time, stay hydrated, and limit the amount of stimulants you have. For example, too much caffeine. Stick to everything in moderate amounts. If you take all of the effects to reverse cortisol face, you're going to notice fat loss, skin repair, and improved definition and lineation all across your face, which is the desired goal here. So cortisol is not your enemy, it's a tool, and by understanding how it works and how to manage it, it can boost your energy, enhance your looks, and you'll feel better in every aspect of your life. Best of luck, Ken. If you are lean and you feel like you don't have a lean face, it might be that you're not just that lean, but if you're really confident you are, it's facial bloat. Obviously, the first step in having a lean looking face is to be at a low body fat percentage. Ideally, around 9 to 12%. That is the most optimal level to be at for male facial attractiveness. But if you are that lean and you still have a bloated face, like me, this video is going to cover every single way that you can debloat your face to achieve that hollow cheek, slimmer look. Okay, so firstly, we need to understand why facial bloat even happens. First thing is high sodium intake. Too much salt will cause your body to retain water. Dehydration. Paradoxically, not drinking enough fluid makes your body retain more. Poor sleep. Inadequate rest leads to water retention and puffiness. Consuming alcohol dehydrates your body, causes fluid retention. Your hormones and how your hormones fluctuate. This can cause temporary swelling. Food sensitivities. If you're intolerant to dairy or gluten, foods can be a trigger for bloating and inflammation. And lymphatic stagnation, meaning there's poor circulation in your lymphatic system, which is ultimately going to lead to fluid buildup. Okay, so let's first talk about the nutrition aspect. Start by reducing your sodium. High sodium foods like processed snacks and fast foods are a major cause of water retention. It's best to always consume fresh organic foods that you cook yourself and limit the amount of salt you have. Secondly, you need to be hydrating properly. 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. For extra hydration, add electrolytes into your water as well. Things like coconut water or Himalayan salt can help with that. And the reason I say Himalayan salt and Celtic sea salt are beneficial for you. They keep you hydrated. Bad salt like table salt and the salt that you're going to be getting in your processed foods is what is going to cause your bloat. Don't get the two mixed up. Thirdly, avoid all inflammatory foods. Refined sugars, dairy, fried items all trigger inflammation, making your face appear swollen. Things like berries, turmeric, ginger, and leafy greens are all going to help debloat your face. And if you want some debloating superfoods, here's 4 you should stick to. Cucumber, a natural diuretic. Pineapple, it contains bromelain, which is going to reduce your inflammation. Watermelon, it's extremely hydrating and flushes out excess sodium. And parsley and dandelion greens, they help with natural detoxification. Okay, so what lifestyle habits can you change so that you're more debloated more frequently? Get enough sleep. Poor sleep leads to puffiness around the eyes and cheeks. Limit your alcohol consumption because alcohol dehydrates your body. And exercise regularly. Physical activity boosts your circulation and also reduces your water retention. Okay, so let's talk about lymphatic drainage for facial debloat. Okay, so the first way is facial massaging. A lymphatic massage stimulates fluid drainage and reduces your puffiness. How do you do it? You use your fingertips or a jade roller to massage your face in upwards and outwards motions. You always start at the center of your face and you move outwards towards your ears. Secondly is a gua sha. Looks like this. It's a traditional tool that's been used for thousands of years. It helps reduce your circulation and fluid buildup, and you use it by using an oil or a facial moisturizer so that the gua sha can glide over your skin, and you gently scrape the gua sha along your jawline, cheeks, and forehead. Third, we have the neck massage. Lymphatic drainage begins in the neck, so clearing this area is essential, and the way you do it is you just massage downwards along the sides of your neck. This is going to encourage lymph flow. Also, consider cold therapy. This is a quick fix for puffiness. Ideal if you have a photo shoot or you're going out and you find yourself bloated. A cold water splash, spoons under the eyes that have been chilling in the freezer, or even ice rollers and ice cubes themselves to give you that temporary quick fix to look slimmer and less bloated. But I often see people making mistakes when it comes to facial debloat, so here are the mistakes you need to avoid. Overhydrating. Drinking excessive water without enough electrolytes can cause internal imbalances and actually worsen your bloating. Another one is skipping meals. Fasting for too long can disrupt your hormones, and disrupting your hormones can lead to more fluid retention. Another one is sleeping flat. Lying completely flat at night can cause fluid to pool in your face, meaning that when you wake up, you will look way fatter than you actually are just because the fluid has traveled there as you've been lying perfectly parallel to your bed. And another mistake is relying on crash diets, because rapid weight loss can cause temporary bloating and swelling as your body is adjusting. So if you want long-term solutions for a slimmer face, maintain a healthy, low body fat percentage. A balanced diet, regular exercise, high intensity interval training, and a calorie deficit is the only way you're gonna get there. Also, improve your gut health. If you haven't already seen the video on that, I highly recommend checking it out. And manage your stress. Practice mindfulness, yoga, meditation, gratitude. Don't knock it until you try it. This is because chronic stress increases your cortisol levels, leading to water retention and bloating. Facial debloating can take place over a matter of days and weeks. So by making these small adjustments to your diet and your lifestyle and your training, can reveal a slimmer, more defined face that is hiding under all that fluid retention. But remember, this is not just a quick fix. It's about creating sustainable habits for long-term health. Best of luck, gang. If you've not been living under a rock, you've probably heard of mewing. It's a simple yet a powerful and important technique that has gained a load of attention over the past few years for a good reason too. But there's recently been a new notion that mewing is bad, or mewing doesn't really work, or mewing is just frauding in some type of way. Is that true? Short answer, no. Of course it's not true. Mewing is an essential foundation for building a good jawline, getting good maxilla development, and improving your overall health, which is what 80% of looksmaxing is. Health maxing. So firstly, let's just hop into what is mewing for those of you that don't know. Mewing is the practice of maintaining proper tongue posture, which is against the roof of your mouth. And this isn't just about touching your tongue lightly, this is about engaging your entire tongue, specifically the back third. It was popularized by Dr. Mike Mew, orthodontists who were way ahead of their time and believed that proper tongue posture can influence your actual face shape. This concept ties into how our face responds to external forces, all ties into joint suture theory. By applying upward pressure on your maxilla, we're going to apply pressure on that suture that runs down the top of your mouth. When it senses this pressure, it triggers it to grow, and a wider palate is going to give you wider cheekbones, higher set cheekbones, and more forward growth over time. So how does it work? Here is how mewing works at a biomechanical level. Upward pressure. When your tongue goes against the roof of your mouth, it applies upward pressure to your maxilla, encouraging your maxilla to move slightly forward and upwards over time. Secondly is facial symmetry. Proper tongue posture helps balance the forces on both sides of your face, potentially removing any asymmetries you might have had. Jawline definition. Mewing trains to keep your mouth closed and keep you breathing through your nose, which activates all of your deep neck flexors and suprahyoid muscles, which is going to give you a better jawline over time. And also, fourthly, improve posture. Keeping your tongue in the right position in your mouth actually naturally aligns your head and neck to be in a better posture than if you didn't. So to sum it up, what are the main benefits of mewing? A sharper jawline. This is for more forward growth, and though your mandible might not change or grow, it will sit differently as your skull works as a unit. So as your maxilla develops, your jaw will too. It also, like I said, strengthens all of these muscles up here and in here. You get improved cheekbones. Mewing enhances your mid-face projection. You get better facial symmetry. You get enhanced mid-face structure, which improves the overall harmony of your facial proportions. And you also get health benefits, which is the most important one. Nasal breathing reduces the risk of snoring, sleep apnea, and any other breathing-related issues. So what do I mean when I always say hard mewing? Hard mewing is the more aggressive version of mewing. Simply put, you just do the exact same thing, but engaging every single muscle, making sure that you are applying as much pressure as you can when you do so. It's going to accelerate your results of mewing, but there are some things that you need to keep in mind. The goal is to engage the entire tongue, especially your back third. You're gonna press with firm, constant pressure. Hard mewing should still be done with your mouth closed and your teeth touching lightly, but applying too much pressure too consistently throughout the day can lead to a lot of soreness in your jaw and tension that could lead to improper alignment if done incorrectly. It's also important to avoid clenching your teeth when you hard mew. It can be tempting, but you gotta stop. And this is for people that are already comfortable with mewing techniques. If you are someone that always has your tongue on the roof of your mouth anyway, this is something you definitely want to implement. If you're someone who already mouth breathes and is just trying to keep their tongue on the top of their mouth throughout the day, I wouldn't start with this. It is far more aggressive. And like I said, it could lead to facial imbalances if you are not already well suited to mewing. It's better to implement big changes like this slowly and make sure you get the basics done first. So if you're new to mewing, here's a step-by-step guide on exactly how to do it right. Firstly, press the entire surface of your tongue against the roof of your mouth. There is a point where your breathing gets closed off when your tongue is pressed against the roof of your mouth. Obviously, you still need to be able to breathe when doing this. So right before that cutoff, where you can still breathe but all of your tongue is still there, is where you need to be. The tip of your tongue should rest just behind your front teeth and not be touching them, and your teeth should be lightly touching without your jaw being clenched. And make sure when you do this, you maintain good posture, keep your head upright, keep your shoulders back, your chest up. You know, the basics. And consistency. Mewing is not something you are going to see overnight results with. It is a very long-term practice. Aim to keep this tongue posture all the time throughout the day. If you are not eating, talking, or training, you should be mewing. So what results can you actually expect from mewing? 1 to 3 months in, you might notice some subtle changes in the appearance of your double chin fat and overall jaw definition. 6 to 12 months, you might experience improved facial symmetry and slight enhancement in your cheekbone projection. And in 1 to 2 years, there will be significant changes in your mid-face projection and your overall facial harmony, especially if you're starting this when you're young. And by young, I mean anywhere from 13 to 16. Go for it. It is optimal time. Your sutures are not fused yet by any means, and mewing is going to have a huge impact. And just to say, the reason why mewing had this notion of being bad all of a sudden was because when you mew, your hyoid bone lifts. That's the motion. So obviously it's very good to do in pictures. If someone's taking a picture from the side, you want to be pressing your tongue firmly against your mouth because it makes your jawline look way better. So people assumed that this was frauding. It's just something you do for pictures that doesn't have any long-term effects. But anyone that says that clearly has no understanding of joint suture theory or myofunctional therapy. So mewing is still one of the simplest and most effective ways to enhance your face, whether you're aiming for a sharper jawline, better cheekbones, better mid-face projection, more facial harmony. It is your go-to. It is a must. So if you're not already, start with normal mewing. If you already do that, go to hard mewing. I would typically recommend doing like dedicated 20 minutes across the day, making sure that you are really feeling that burn. I like to do it when I'm working. I can just do it subconsciously. Or if I'm on a long walk outside, it's useful to just go, right, I'm gonna spend the next 20 minutes with my thoughts, consciously hard mewing too. The results are clear, the benefits are undeniable. So good luck with your mewing and hard mewing. And as always, let me know if you have any questions. Much love, gang. Have you ever noticed how someone's eyes can completely transform their appearance? They can go from having prey eyes and looking weak, looking submissive, to looking assertive and dominant just from their eye area alone. Your eye area is one of the most important parts of your face. If you think about it, it's the bit that everyone looks at first. Your eyes are the first impression someone gets of you. So your eyes play a huge role in how you're perceived. So this is exactly how you can begin to maximize your eye area. Orbicularis oculi training. It is a technique that you can use to strengthen and also begin to gain control over the muscles around your eyes. We'll explore how it works, how to do it, and how it can enhance your facial expressions, making you look more attractive and more confident. Firstly, the orbicularis oculi is a muscle that goes around your eyes. It's like a ring. It controls your ability to blink, your ability to squint, and express emotions through your eyes. Being able to control this muscle will mean that you can either create a warm and engaging, friendly expression, and you can completely transform it to get that hunter eye appearance, more aggressive, more dominant, within the flick of a switch. That sharp, intense look like you see in some of my pictures was no accident. It took training, it took practice, but here's how to go about it. But firstly, training this muscle isn't just about better facial expressions. It directly impacts how you're perceived in life, in social or professional settings. A strong orbicularis oculi contributes to facial symmetry, and symmetry is one of the key factors of attractiveness. Having good control of this muscle will also enhance your ability to have genuine expressions. You may be having genuine emotions, but if you don't have enough facial control, how can you convey that? And when you enhance this muscle, you improve your ability to show genuine emotions, making you appear way more charismatic and way more approachable. And don't forget, your social charisma is a huge factor in what makes you attractive. No, it's not just all about the way you look, about the way you hold yourself, the way you talk, the eye contact you can hold. And not only that, when you improve your eye contact through training this muscle, you're going to find that people will engage a lot better with you in conversations. Before and after improving my eye area, the difference when I was speaking to people is outstanding. I'm telling you, after I improved my eye area, if I am looking at someone with an intense stare, listening intently to their conversation, often start blushing, sometimes they look away, sometimes they say, why are you looking at me like that? So 100% improving your eye area is going to make a huge difference. So let's get into the actual training techniques. The techniques are simple, but consistency is key for noticeable results, like everything. The first is going to be squinting. Try and do this indefinitely throughout the day, but ensure that you are not having any wrinkles in your forehead whatsoever, like this. You want to be making sure that whenever you're walking around, having conversations with people, doing anything whatsoever, when you're thinking about it, I want you to be having this squint look. It's not too much that it looks ridiculous, but it's not too little so that your eyes look dead like this either. You want to be engaging this muscle. The next is an eye squeeze with resistance. You want to close your eyes tightly while placing your fingers on the outer corner of your eye, pulling it up. You're blinking against the resistance that you're putting here, like this. You can do it one at a time or with two hands, like this. With all of these sets and reps aren't so important. You really just want to do it until you feel a burn. Now, this one will most effectively train your orbicularis oculi, but don't forget, so much actually goes into what makes your eye area look good that simply training the muscle might not be enough. This is where expression control comes into play. I want you to practice in the mirror, smiling with a slight warm squint in your eyes. You'll feel a slight lift in your cheeks and your outer eye corners. And also I want to mention the significance of the auricularis posterior. A lot of people got confused when I started talking about this because it is the muscle behind your ear. If any of you can wiggle your ears and make them move back and forward without you touching them, that is because you are engaging that muscle. So what the hell has that got to do with your eyes? Well, it can actually give you a more positive perceived canthal tilt. What do I mean by a perceived canthal tilt? Well, your eyelid hooding can have a huge effect on how your canthal tilt looks. For example, if I make my eyelid hooding negative right now, you can see that my canthal tilt looks pretty negative. But if I engage the right muscles in my frontalis and my auricularis posterior, you can see it has a far more positive appearance. Now, a lot of people say this looks strange. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. The technique is there if you want it. Remember that beauty is not found in features, it's found in proportion. So though this will change the actual feature and make your eyes look completely different, you should be assessing with yourself and the other people in the community. You can ask around and see whether it looks better or not. Looking good and glowing up is so specific to you that you need to understand these methods and try them, but understand that there's no one method that will work for everything. It worked really well for me, it might not for you. It's best to get a load of second opinions and see for yourself. So what can you actually expect after consistent orbicularis oculi training? After 1 to 2 weeks, you're just going to notice that you're getting better facial control. 1 to 2 months, you're going to notice that the squinting that you've been doing throughout the day is going to become far more subconscious. Your eyes are going to appear more slit-like without you having to even think about it. And after 6 months, your eyes should look far more youthful, have a sharper appearance, and have more of a hunter eye appearance than they did before. But here are some mistakes that you should know so that you can avoid them. Firstly, do not overexert the muscles. When you strain or overdo the exercises, you could actually lead to gaining more wrinkles. The key is consistency, not doing loads in one go, but implementing it 5 or 10 minutes every single day will do the trick. The other mistake is ignoring other facial muscles. While focusing on the eyes is indeed important, you want to balance it with training other facial muscles too. And the third mistake is inconsistent practice. Doing the exercises occasionally won't lead to noticeable results. Consistency is 100% key. So start small, stay consistent, and let me know in the chat how these exercises are working for you a couple weeks down the line. Much love. Facial symmetry is one of the key markers of attractiveness. Yes, we all have facial asymmetries, but there are ways that you can highly improve yours. Symmetry is universally recognized as the marker of health, balance, and attractiveness as a whole. Nobody's face is perfectly symmetrical. If you use that inverted filter, you know, I know, kills your mental state too. But fear not, it does not need to be perfectly symmetrical. You just need to fix 90% of your asymmetries and you'll look great. Here's how you do that. Firstly, we've got to know what the asymmetry can result from. It can be completely genetic. It can be from your habits, like poor posture or sleeping on one side. Any injuries you might have had, any past trauma to the face can cause a lot of imbalance. And muscle imbalances as a whole. Like if you chew on one side or make a consistent facial expression, that isn't even. So let's talk about the science of fixing your facial asymmetries. Your face is supported by a combination of bones, muscle, and soft tissue. By addressing each of these, you can gradually improve your symmetry. The methods I'll cover target muscle imbalances, stimulate bone alignment, and improve your tissue tone. Consistency is key. The results will not be instant. They will take time, but I promise you it's worth it. The first method, posture correction. Poor posture, especially forward head posture. This classic like curved top of spine, chin up to the sky, can actually make your jaw completely asymmetrical. How to correct your posture. Stand or sit tall with a straight spine. Keep your ears aligned with your shoulders. This is indefinitely. When you're doing anything, if you're working, walking, or doing anything sedentary, you want to maintain good posture. Hit the gym and strengthen your neck and back muscles, especially your upper back. Other videos about your jawline, I talk about how neck training can also heavily fix your posture. Fixing your posture can improve your facial alignment over a course of months. The second method, chewing alternately. I wouldn't recommend doing this with something as small as gum. Repetitive chewing in small ranges of motion can often result in TMJ. It's better to stick to what I always preach, which is natural, hard, tough foods, things like crusty bread, carrots, or steak, and use this to chew more so on the weaker side. You'll know what side is weaker by taking a face-on picture and just seeing which masseter is more developed. Whichever one is less developed, chew on that side. It's important not to chew 100% on that side because that can put too much strain on it too quickly. Just make sure that about 70% of your chewing is done on the weak side. Again, these results will take months, but they are worth it. Because also, if you can see asymmetries in your masseter development now, it's only going to get worse. That's your body showing you that your habits are building uneven muscle foundation. You're only going to keep building as you grow. So you got to fix it now. Third method, facial exercises. When doing the right facial exercises, you can activate underused muscles and relax overused one to bring about more symmetry as a whole. First exercise I want to talk about is resistant smiling. You place your fingers on the top corners of your mouth and you want to smile in an upwards turn smile like this and push against that. You're going to feel the resistance of your orbicularis oris and it activates weak cheek muscles that might be causing any imbalances by ensuring that you train both sides evenly. Do it for 20 seconds at a time, 10 minutes a day. Rest in between. Another exercise is eye area balance, independent eyebrow control. I have more videos that touch on this too. Practice in the mirror, trying to train one eyebrow and then the other eyebrow. People often ask, how did I even get positively tilted eyebrows when they always used to look like this? It's independent eyebrow control, highly useful skill. If you notice that one eyebrow is weaker than the other, do more repetitions on that side. Eventually, over time, it will be up to speed just like the other one. Another cause of your asymmetry might be to do with facial massages and myofascial release. These work because it releases the tension in the overused muscles, but also improves your facial circulation, giving you a more balanced appearance. To do this the most effectively, I recommend using a gua sha, going along your jawline, along your cheeks, up at the temples. You can either do these in pushing motions or in circular motions. It's totally up to you, whatever feels best. And I would recommend using your facial moisturizer or some type of oil to make sure that the gua sha doesn't grip to your face and everything runs smoothly. You can expect these results in weeks. It's great. Let's talk about sleep habits. If you didn't know, sleeping on one side can not only encourage more fluid to be on the bottom side, but it can actually also compress your facial bones over time, especially if you're younger. And if you want to fix this asymmetry, I would not recommend sleeping on the other side. Just go straight to back sleeping. Over time, your body will adjust and will understand that that is the right position to be in, instead of trying to counteract any other bone compression or fluid changes that have happened in your face from sleeping on the other side. As a whole, it might not make you look better, whereas sleeping on your back will. If you really struggle to sleep on your back, get a line of pillows either side of you, make it impossible for you to turn. And I would do an extremely heavy workout right before bed so that you are absolutely exhausted and you're going to sleep like a baby. Trust me, that's how I stopped sleeping on my side. It works. Now I don't even think about it. Let's talk about mewing. Mewing works. I'm sick and tired of everyone saying that mewing doesn't work. It does, 100%. The proof and the evidence is clear. If you don't know, mewing was deemed bad by a particular individual in this space who wanted to sell his own course, acting like he reinvented the wheel. I'm not going to call him out because I'm not the type of guy to like beef, but he tried to push his own agenda of what he thought was better than mewing. That led to a notion of everyone believing that mewing's bad when it is not. Mewing is great. Don't ever stop. Proper tongue posture will help align your jaw and make your facial features more symmetrical over time. Rest your tongue flat against the roof of your mouth. Bonus points if you can do this with pressure throughout the day. Keep your lips sealed and your teeth slightly touching. This can highly improve symmetry and definition all throughout your face. In the first 1 to 2 weeks of applying all of these methods, you'll start to see initial changes in your muscle tone and posture. In the first 1 to 2 months, you'll have noticeable changes in your jawline, your cheekbones, and your overall alignment. In a 6 to 12 month time frame, you can have significant, long-lasting changes that make you look more attractive and symmetrical. Try it out. As always, facial symmetry is more than just looks. It's balance, health, and confidence. By following these techniques, you can create a more harmonious and symmetrical face. And remember, your small, consistent habits are going to be what makes the biggest difference over time. Studies show that people with more symmetrical faces are perceived as healthier, more attractive, and more confident. It's vital. So get going on your journey. Ask any questions in here if you need to, and start watching the results coming in. Best of luck. This is how to find the perfect hairstyle for your face shape. Your hairstyle plays a massive role in framing your face and highlighting your best features. Picking the wrong cut can throw off your proportions, while the right one can extremely enhance them. In this video, we're diving into a deep face shape analysis and exactly how you can assess what your own is and how you can learn how to match it to your hairstyle. Before you can pick any right hairstyle, you need to understand what your own one is. So here's the 6 main types. Oval. This is balanced proportions and it's slightly longer than it is wide. Round. You have equal width and height of your face with soft round edges. Square. This is for people with equal proportions and a strong jawline. Diamond. You have broad cheekbones but a narrow jaw and a narrow forehead. Then you've got the heart shape. You have a wider forehead, wide cheekbones but a narrow pointed chin. If you want to know how you can know your own face shape, look straight into a mirror and pull your hair back. Notice which part of your face is the widest and check if your jawline is rounded or more angular. Then compare your face's length to its width. That's it. Now let's get into the science behind choosing a hairstyle. Your hairstyle should create balance, harmony. The goal is to highlight your best features while softening or balancing any disproportionate areas. For example, a slightly longer face benefits from more width. A rounder face would benefit from more height. A square, more angular face might benefit from a softer cut with more texture. So here's the guide on what cut to get for what face shape you have. If you have an oval face, you can basically get any cut. The only thing I would say is avoid a heavy fringe. Can make your face look shorter. A round face, you're going to want to add height to your hair and take hair away from the sides. Fades and undercuts are going to help elongate your face. Avoid anything that's round. Buzz cuts, bowl cuts, get it gone. It's going to make you look worse. If you have a square face, textured crops, side parts, or long layers to soften strong angles, you should be avoiding flat or boxy styles. They're going to make your face appear even more square. If you have more of a rectangular or an oblong face, you want to try and get volume on the sides. Myself, my face is longer. That's why I keep all this volume here. And so far it's been the look with the highest appeal. You should try and avoid overly long styles. I'm talking really long. They're going to make your face look longer than it is. If you have a diamond face, add width to your narrower areas. If your jaw comes in a lot here, have some volume in the back that comes out from a front profile. If it's narrower up here, have more width here. The goal with all of these is to create balance. If you have a heart-shaped face, you want to avoid really short cuts. They're going to emphasize your forehead. And you want to opt for something that has more volume in your lower third. Again, volume in the back. Your styles should change depending on what type of hair type you have. If you have straight hair, it's best for structured, slick back styles or pompadours. If you have wavy hair, get a texture cut to emphasize those curls and shagginess. That's more of the vibe I'm on. If you have curly hair, it's best suited to shorter sides with more volume on the top. And if you have coily hair, it works well with cropped or tightly shaped styles. Your hairline and growth pattern matters too. If you have a receding hairline, go for cuts that are textured and draw attention away from your widow's peak. If you have a natural widow's peak, you can do two things. You can try and hide it completely by having a fringe or curtains, or you can completely own it and go for a hairstyle like this, because as you can see, it can look very masculine. If you are still unsure about your face shape, start with a very versatile cut, like a medium fade or just a regular layered cut, and experiment with subtle changes, get second opinions, ask your friends and family. You're going to find what works for you. Ultimately, your hairstyle is a reflection of your personality. While your face analysis helps, confidence is going to be what makes any look work. I promise you, inner light is not cope. So experiment, find what feels right, and rock it with pride. With the knowledge from this video, you're equipped to own your own style. Did you know that poor posture and compressed spinal discs can actually rob you of your true height? Over time, gravity, poor habits, and even workouts can completely compress your spine and take away 1 to 2 centimeters off your height, making you appear shorter than you really are. Today, we are diving into spine decompression, exactly how you can do it, when to do it, why it is so good for you. I'll also share some common mistakes that you want to avoid and what expectations you can realistically have. Okay, so what is spine decompression? It is a technique that can relieve pressure on the discs of your spine. The discs are the cushions in between your vertebrae. Over the course of the day, gravity can compress these discs, which can reduce your height temporarily. For some people, if they have chronic compression, it's less temporary and more permanent. But with corrective habits like what I'm about to share, this can be adjusted. Firstly, let's talk about why you should be decompressing your spine. You unlock your true height, you relieve back pain if you have any, you will improve your flexibility and mobility, you'll boost the circulation to your discs. Decompression actually encourages better hydration and nutrient flow to your spinal discs. And you will also prevent long-term issues. Regular decompression massively reduces the chance of you getting anything like a herniated disc down the line. So let's talk about the best ways that you can decompress your spine. Okay, so the first method is hanging from a bar. Grab a pull-up bar and let your body hang freely, allowing gravity to do all of the work and stretch your lower back. Hold it for 20 to 30 seconds, 3 to 5 times every single day. Pro tip, try and avoid any swinging. Second is the cat-cow stretch. You get on all fours, you arch your back upwards, which is the cat aspect, and then dip it down, cow, in a slow and controlled motion. Perform 10 to 15 reps in one session, twice a day. This is going to relieve a lot of tension and improve your spinal mobility. The next is child's pose. If any of you do yoga, you are familiar with this stretch. You get on the floor, you sit on your heels, you stretch your arms forwards, and you lower your torso to the ground. Hold it for 30 to 60 seconds and repeat this 2 to 3 times again every single day. This focuses on relieving a lot of lower back pressure. The next is the inversion table. You use an inversion table to hang all the way upside down. If you don't have an inversion table, you can literally just use any table that's strong enough. You have your legs on the top and you relax and hang your body off the side. Start with about 1 to 2 minutes of this, focusing on deep breathing, but avoid this if you have high blood pressure or are prone to headaches, because all of the blood is going to be going to your head. The next is foam rolling. How do you do it? You lie on a foam roller, just roll up and down to decompress your entire spine. Ideally, you want to be spending around 5 to 10 minutes on this every single day. It is a superb exercise. Now, here's what you got to be careful of. You do not want to overstretch your back. If you try and jump ahead too quickly and are aiming for too much progress, you can strain muscles or worsen pre-existing injuries. You want to go slow and steady. You need to listen to your body too. If you feel any aching or sharp pains when doing these exercises, it's better to stop, slow down, and go a lot more gently. And remember, it's consistency over intensity. Doing these exercises daily for short periods of time, not pushing yourself too hard, is where to start. It's far more effective than overdoing it once in a while. If you have any pre-existing back issues before you start this, it's better to consult your own doctor. So what can you expect and when? Well, the immediate results after doing a session of this is you can seriously be 1 to 2 centimeters taller. We're talking immediately after you do this. So I want you guys to try it and I want you to let me know whether you had a decompressed spine or not and whether you added any centimeters to your height. After 2 to 4 weeks, you're going to notice a lot better flexibility and relieved back pain. And after 3 months, you are going to notice all of the effects of better flexibility, better mobility, and improved spinal health. You're going to have fewer aches and the ability to maintain your natural height more consistently. Make sure when you do this, you are not skipping warm-ups. Stretching cold muscles can seriously lead to injury. Make sure you are consistently practicing it. Doing it once or twice is not going to give you any long-term results. Do not neglect your form because proper alignment is crucial, and do not ignore any underlying issues that you may have. So spine decompression is a very simple yet very powerful technique that you can use to instantly boost your height. Try these techniques for a few weeks and let me know how they work on you, and let me know if you got any taller. Best of luck. Much love, gang. How exactly do you master your hygiene for perfect skin? This is the complete guide. Your skincare routine is not just about products. It's about your daily habits and hygiene. In this video, I will cover every single thing you need to know to maintain pristine hygiene for perfect skin. So why does hygiene matter for the skin? Well, even the best skincare products can't work if you don't have good enough hygiene. Things like bacteria, dirt, and oil will be clogging your pores. So here's how to optimize your hygiene. First thing to remember, get your hands off your face. Stop touching it throughout the day. If you have that habit, break it. Your hands touch countless surfaces throughout the day, transferring bacteria, oil, dirt, all to your face. This will clog your pores and give you breakouts. If you find yourself touching it throughout the day, I want you to do me a favor and slap yourself. Stop. You are giving yourself acne. Also, you need to be washing your face. Ideally, twice a day, morning and evening. Non-negotiable. Bonus points, you should be washing after you exercise. Use lukewarm water, not hot. Hot water can strip your skin of its natural good oils. Firstly, apply a gentle cleanser, suitable for your skin type, and avoid harsh soaps. And make sure you have clean hands and use your fingertips, not a washcloth, because a washcloth can harbor bacteria. If you wear makeup, for all the women out there, or sunscreen throughout the day, double cleanse at night. Do one wash, rinse it off, wash again. Next, you need to clean your bed sheets regularly. Your pillowcase and bedding can trap oils, sweat, and bacteria that transfer to your skin while you sleep. Wash your pillowcases at least once a week. If you have acne-prone skin, every 2 to 3 days is much better. And you should be washing your sheets weekly. If you can, use silk or bamboo as the material for your pillowcase. These reduce friction, preventing irritation and hair oils transferring from the pillow to your skin. And if you can, avoid cotton. It absorbs oil when you rest on it and can irritate your skin over time. Next, I want you to be mindful about your towels. These can be the silent culprit, so easy to not think about, and they can fully undo your cleansing routine. You should have a separate towel for your body and your face. Use a clean, soft towel every single time you wash, and do not rub your skin dry, pat it dry. Avoid irritation. And for bath or shower towels, wash these every 3 to 4 days. And don't forget about your hair hygiene. Your hair can transfer oils and dirt to your skin, especially around your hairline. So if your hair is on your forehead, be conscious of the acne that this can cause. Ideally, if you're not rocking a style to be somewhere, slick it back out your face. If you're using any products like hairspray, shield your face as best you can, because these types of products can clog your pores. Side note, if you use things like gua shas or rollers for your face for lymphatic drainage massages, you should also be cleaning these every single time you use them. They can harbor bacteria like crazy. And don't forget, you're rubbing it all over your face. So let's talk about your shower routine. Non-negotiable, shower after you sweat. Always rinse off sweat, even if it's just a rinse, every single time. Sweat clogs pores and also gives you body acne. Avoid long, hot showers. They strip your skin of its natural oils, which can lead to too much dryness. And needless to say, don't use body soap on your face. It's too harsh. Also, bonus points, don't ever touch your pimples without perfectly clean hands. Picking or squeezing blemishes in any case can introduce bacteria to it and can cause scarring. Keep your nails short and clean. Hydrate throughout the day, 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. And if you're in really dry climates, it might be worth you using a humidifier. When your skin dries out, it can actually trigger your body to produce more oil, which can lead to more breakups down the line. Master your hygiene, master your skin. Best of luck, gang. Alright, so you want to know how to choose the right hair products for your hair. It can feel overwhelming with so many different options out there. Fear not, this video is your ultimate guide to knowing exactly what products you need for your hair type. I'm going to tell you how you use them and how you can even revive damaged hair. By the end, you'll know exactly what to buy for your specific needs. Before diving into the products, you need to identify your hair type. Different products suit different hair textures. Straight hair. It needs lightweight control and ideally shine that doesn't weigh it down. Wavy hair. This requires products that are going to define your curls and control frizz. Curly hair. It's going to highly benefit from deep moisture. And coily hair needs intense hydration and strong hold for definition. All right, let's break down the best products for each hair type. A pomade. Something like this. It adds medium to high shine with a sleek, polished look. It's best for straight or slightly wavy hair. Ideal for anything like a slick back or side part. Pro tip, use water-based pomades for an easier wash out, or an oil-based pomade if you want longer lasting results. Wax. Something like this. It's medium hold and a natural matte finish. It's best for straight or wavy hair, perfect for messy or textured looks. It's something I would offer. Make sure when you apply it in your hands, you have a good 10 seconds where you really warm it up. The consistency is going to completely change and it completely affects how it's going to look in your hair. Clay. Strong hold, matte finish. This is better for people that have fine or medium thick hair, especially short to medium cuts. Pro tip, add it to your roots for lift and extra structure. Cream. This gives a light hold, provides a little bit of shine, and provides a lot of moisture. Perfect for curly, wavy, or coarse hair. And it's ideal for longer or more flowy styles. When you're applying, apply it to damp hair if you want a softer look. Gel. Strong hold, high shine, and it locks in your style for hours. This is for straight or thick hair that needs absolute maximum control. It's intense. Use it sparingly to avoid a crunchy finish. Less is more in this case. Sea salt spray. This adds texture and a beachy tussled look with a matte finish. Best for wavy and straight hair and it's completely ideal for an effortless casual style that you don't mind being shaggy, you don't mind being messy. Pro tip, apply it when your hair is wet, scrunch it with a towel, and you get a good amount of waviness from that. Hair oil. This adds shine, reduces frizz, and deeply hydrates your hair. It's best for dry, curly, or coily hair. And it's great for long hairstyles that need extra nourishment. To avoid greasiness, focus on the ends of your hair, not the roots. Leave-in conditioner provides hydration, detangles, and protects your hair from damage. You can use this on all hair types, but it's best for dry or damaged hair. Hair mask. This deeply conditions or repairs dry or damaged hair. If your hair feels completely brittle or lifeless, you might want to chuck this in your routine. Let's talk about how to revive your hair if it is completely dead. Firstly, dead hair isn't literally lifeless, but it's dry, brittle, and damaged, often from overstyling, heat, or chemicals. Here's how you're going to bring it back to life. Firstly, deep conditioning masks. We talked about this. Hair oils, leave-in conditioners, and protein treatment. Look for hydrolyzed proteins in your hair products, but don't overdo it. An overload of protein in your hair can make it too stiff. Alternate your protein treatments to your hair with moisturizing products. Overall, to prevent your hair being damaged and dry, stay away from heat, chemicals, and try not to touch it too much. Things like towel drying can really take an effect if you do it too rough. Take care of your hair. Treat it with love. The right products are going to make all the difference. Healthy, well-maintained hair isn't just about appearance, it's about confidence. Now you know exactly what your hair needs. It's time to put this knowledge into action and let your hair do the talking. Good luck. Growing your beard is not just about your genetics, it is about giving your body the right tools it needs to thrive and the right follicle stimulants so that it can reach its genetic potential. In this video, I'm going to break down all of the real methods to grow a fuller, thicker, healthier beard, no matter where you're starting from. Whether you're dealing with patchy growth or you just want to speed things up, I've got you covered. I am in the process of doing this myself. Before we dive into the methods, let's quickly cover the basics of beard growth. Firstly is genetics. Genetics play a significant role in beard growth. All of your family can grow thick, full beards. You've got a shot at growing one too. Also your hormones. Hormones like testosterone and DHT are key drivers of beard growth. Boosting these naturally can make a big difference. Also understand that your beard growth is going to go through 3 stages. Anagen, which is growth, catagen, which is the transition period, and telogen, which is the rest period. The goal is to extend the anagen phase as much as you can. So let's talk about oils and topical solutions. First thing is castor oil. Castor oil is rich in ricinoleic acid, which increases the blood flow to the hair follicles, promoting growth. Emu oil is also proving to work very well. It penetrates deeply into the skin, reducing inflammation and providing nutrients to dormant follicles. And also rosemary oil. Some studies show that rosemary oil can be just as effective as minoxidil in some cases. So it's a good way to promote your hair growth without all the side effects. Also bonus points if you mix a few drops of rosemary oil with a carrier oil, something like jojoba or almond oil. That is going to speed up your results greatly. Also consider beard balms. Look for balms with natural ingredients like shea butter, beeswax, or any essential oils. And now let's talk about derma rollers or derma stamps. So how do they work? Well, when you apply microtrauma to the skin, it increases the blood flow, triggering your body's healing response and therefore boosting collagen. Dormant follicles will be stimulated and hair growth will improve. So should you choose a derma stamp or a derma roller? The only reason you'd ever really use a derma roller is just for efficiency. Derma stamping may take like 3 to 5 minutes when you do it, and using a derma roller really only takes about a minute. But how busy can you really be? If you want the results, just do the derma stamp. It yields slightly better results, so that's always the one I'm going to go with. You should be using needles with a 0.5 to 1 millimeter range for the best results too. So how do you use them? Clean the tool with rubbing alcohol before and after each use. Then you want to stamp the tool across every area of your beard in different directions, focusing specifically on any patchy spots, and use it 1 to 2 times per week, and you should be using the oils every night. Now let's focus on nutrition and supplements. What you put into your body directly affects your beard growth. So here are the key nutrients and supplements to focus on. Biotin. Aim for about 2.5 milligrams daily. Find this in eggs, nuts, avocados. Zinc and magnesium. These minerals boost testosterone, which is critical for beard growth. Protein. Your hair is made of keratin, which is a protein. So make sure your diet includes plenty of lean meats, fish, and eggs. Also be including omega-3 fatty acids found in fish, walnuts, flax seeds. And if your diet isn't perfect, a quality multivitamin can go a long way too. Also, let's not neglect lifestyle factors and how that can improve your beard growth. You need to be getting quality sleep, 7 to 9 hours every single night, controlling your stress, exercising regularly, staying hydrated, 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. Avoid drinking and smoking, because all of these things are potentially going to limit your beard growth. But if you are really struggling with your beard growth, you've tried all of that, let's talk about minoxidil. It's commonly used for scalp hair, but it can be used on your beard too. but it does have side effects like dryness or irritation. But you've got to consult a doctor before using it. And also beware that when you stop using it, you run the risk of the hair you grew when you were on it falling out. So it is really something you have to keep up with. So just keep that in mind if you live quite a spontaneous lifestyle where it's hard to get into a routine. If you skip a night of using it, you may run the risk of all of the hair you grew on it falling out, which I find kind of ridiculous. So for that reason, I would personally stick to hormone optimization and dermostanding and essential oils and stuff like that instead, because they have no side effects. So when you implement these with time and effort, you'll see real progress. Let me know if you have any questions and update me in the chat with your progress. Much love, gang. Joint suture theory has gained a load of attention for its potential to enhance facial features and structures naturally through things like thumb pulling, zygomatic pushing, mewing. But while the concept is fascinating, there are some things that people still don't understand about it or are getting wrong. In this video, I'm going to cover the biggest misunderstandings about joint suture theory. I'll highlight the common mistakes that people are making when they practice it, and I'll explain how you can avoid every single pitfall that will be holding you back. So the first misconception is that sutures are highly flexible in adults. That's one of the biggest misconceptions, that people think that your sutures are still highly flexible as you age. While it's true that throughout your life, these joints will retain a small amount of malleability, the degree of flexibility decreases significantly as you age. In reality, it is children and teens that are going to have the best success when responding to external forces on these sutures. And this is because their bones are still growing. Think about why sutures are even there in the first place. Take your skull, for example. As your brain expands, it is going to push against the inner walls of your skull. This pressure on all of the sutures throughout the skull is the trigger for it to say it needs to grow. So it makes sense that when you stop growing and you go into adulthood, that these sutures fuse. The key takeaway here is if you're over 25, don't expect any dramatic results. Yes, your sutures are technically still malleable, but it might not be significant enough to see any change whatsoever. So for anyone over 25 in here, not to worry, there are still loads of things that you can do to improve the way you look. It's just that this concept can't apply to you. The second misconception is that it's a quick fix. People think they'll start thumb pulling or zygomatic pushing or mewing all the time, and within a couple months, they'll look great. And the truth is, a lot of people give up because they don't see any results because they've stuck at it for a month. You have to understand that skeletal remodeling is an extremely slow process. It can take many months or even years to see significant improvements. And even when changes do occur, they are often subtle and less dramatic. So the key takeaway from here is that patience and consistency is completely crucial. Think of the joint suture theory and all of the practices that go along with it as a long-term investment for your health and looks. The third misconception is that more pressure equals better results. A lot of people assume that applying more pressure is going to lead to more significant results over time, especially when it comes to things like mewing or thumb pulling. This is not only incorrect, but it can also be harmful. Excessive pressure can cause soreness, tension in your jaw, misalignment of your teeth, or damage to the soft tissues in your mouth. These sutures respond to consistent, gentle force over a long period of time. That's one of the reasons I like mewing so much as opposed to thumb pulling. This is because your sutures respond less well to aggressive or forceful manipulation. Like I said earlier, when your brain grows, think about how slow and subtle that process is, but also think about how consistent that process is. Another misconception is that it works the same for everyone. A lot of people think that everyone will see the same results from doing all of these practices, but it's simply not true. The truth is that results are going to vary based on your age, your genetics, your bone structure, and your consistency of practice. Younger individuals are going to see better results because their bones are more malleable. So it's important to understand and assess your own limitations so that you can limit the expectations of your results from this. Your results will be unique to your circumstances. Those are the misconceptions. Now let's talk about the common pitfalls. These are the most common mistakes that people make when doing all of these practices. It is inconsistent practice, improper technique, mouth breathing, and neglecting your overall health. A lot of people start strong, but they don't stick with it. In terms of things like technique, engaging the back third of your tongue is crucial when you're mewing, or applying even pressure when you're zygomatic pushing so you don't create any imbalances. For mouth breathing, some of you guys mouth breathe in your sleep and you don't even know it. And when I mention health, I'm referencing things like a poor diet or poor posture, or even a lack of exercise can limit your overall progress. So to ensure that you skip all of these pitfalls, learn the proper techniques, track your progress, focus on nasal breathing, and be extremely patient. This is a very long-term investment. As always, keep asking questions. Let me know in the chat how your progress is going, and let me know if you have any questions. Much love, gang. The upturned smile and the smirk. Two facial expressions that radiate confidence, charm, and approachability. These subtle yet powerful movements can completely transform your face. In this video, I'm going to break down why the upturned smile and the smirk work so well, what muscles you need to train, and how to master these expressions so that you can elevate your appearance and appear more in control. So let's start with why these expressions work so well. Firstly, there's positive associations. An upturned smile conveys more warmth, more friendliness. Although you may be feeling genuine emotions when you are smiling, if it is downturned, it may not be conveying the same emotion that you are feeling. I used to have a very genuine, very authentic downturned smile. And although I was just as happy as when I'm smiling now, which is obviously upturned, it wasn't necessarily conveyed that way. And it certainly wasn't as attractive. The smirk is also a powerful tool for conveying a mysterious confidence. It's subtle, confident, slightly mischievous. It's a perfect mix of charm and self-assurance, making it incredibly engaging and having such high female appeal. Having an upturned smile or a smirk in your back pocket is a very powerful tool, especially when it comes to flirting with women. So let's talk about what muscles are actually involved. To master these expressions, you need to focus on controlling these key muscles around your mouth. The zygomaticus major and minor. This is for your upturned smile. These pull the corners of your mouth upwards, and they are essential for creating that natural lifted upturned look. The next is the orbicularis oris, not to be confused with your orbicularis oculi. The orbicularis is just what they say when the muscle is in a ring shape, so as you can tell, it is a ring that goes around your mouth like that. This muscle helps shape your smile and smirk. Now for the smirk, you need to be training your risorius. This muscle pulls the corners of the mouth outward. This is the muscle that you need to create that slight asymmetry when smirking. And the next is the buccinator, located in your cheeks. This muscle stabilizes your mouth movements for smooth, controlled expressions. Also, side note, I've become so good at controlling my smirk, I can literally control which crease it uses to smirk with. I found this out the other day just through expression control training. Here's the first. Right, you see that crease right there? Holy, what are we doing right now? I choose my creases now. What a life. Who would have thought looksmaxing took me there? So, how do you train for the upturned smirk? Well, it's sort of a frustrating answer. You just got to keep practicing it in the mirror. First thing you want to be doing is smile lifts. Gently smile while focusing on lifting the corners of your mouth in the mirror. Hold it as high as you can for 5 seconds, then release. Should look something like this, like you're in pain. Again, these are exercises you don't want to be doing at the gym. You want to be doing these in private. People will think you're a weirdo, but that's often what it's got to take. Repeat this 10 to 15 times per session and do it in the morning and in the evening. I do it when I'm brushing my teeth. The next is cheek pushes. You want to place your fingers on the corners of your mouth and smile against the resistance, like so. This is going to be engaging the zygomaticus muscles. Do 10 slow repetitions, holding each one for at least 5 seconds. And the main thing that you need to be considering when you're doing this is do it in front of a mirror and pay attention to how it looks. Expression control is an art. It's not just about training the muscles, it's about understanding how the difference in millimeters can completely convey a different emotion. So practice, practice, practice. So how do you train for the smirk? This one, the one we all know and love. Classic Damon Salvatore. Again, practice in the mirror trying to lift one side of your mouth. When you can, practice holding that smirk for 5 to 10 seconds. And repeat this 10 to 15 times per session. The next, similar to the last one, just on one side while keeping one side of your mouth completely relaxed. Place a finger opposing a smirk and smirk against it. Like so. 10 repetitions on each side. Huge bonus points if you can do a smirk while making sure that your eyebrows are also positively tilted. If you don't know already, positive tilt in your eyebrows is a very attractive masculine feature. No, it's not just about being born with it. I can turn it on in a second and there we go. The eyebrows are positive. Coupled with a smirk, you get a little mischievous, cute little flirty look. The ladies are gonna love it. Looks so weird when you're practicing it, I know. But that's what it's gotta take. Expression control is a very weird practice in itself because you think, surely that doesn't matter. Surely I don't need to be so vain. But if you wanna convey genuine emotions, you need to understand which genuine emotions you're having convey into what expressions other people are perceiving. Because oftentimes you can be feeling one thing and your face just won't show it. So having this full broad spectrum control can give you the ability to be a lot more authentic, even though at first glance it seems inauthentic. The next exercise for the smirk is a cheek and jaw tension exercise. Press your tongue against the roof of your mouth, mewing, hard mewing, while you're holding the smirk. This engages your buccinator muscle for greater control. Let's talk about expected results and the timeline. In 1 to 2 weeks, you'll have improved muscle awareness and greater control over your expression. In 1 to 2 months, you'll begin to notice subconscious visible lifts in the corner of your smile, which is completely optimal. Your expressions will also start to feel a lot more natural. And in 6 months, you'll be able to have a perfectly upturned smile and that smirk that enhances your overall appearance. Let's talk about some common mistakes and how to avoid them. Do not overexert your muscles. Don't force it. It's a delicate exercise. You don't need to give it a lot. Do not ignore symmetry. While a smirk is an asymmetrical expression, don't neglect either side. Just because you have a good side that finds it easier doesn't mean you should stick to that side. You should train both. Make sure you're giving it consistent practice, as like with most things in looksmaxing, sporadic attempts won't give you results. And make sure that you are not skipping relaxation. Give your face a rest between performing all of these exercises. So the upturned smile and the smirk are powerful tools that can elevate your appearance and your confidence. So by consistently training and practicing in the mirror and practicing these exercises that I mentioned, you will begin to gain a lot more expression control. As always, let me know how it goes in the chat and tag me if you have any questions. Much love, gang. Good luck. Shredding or lowering your body fat is all about achieving a lean, defined look. But if you do it wrong, it can make your face look aged, unhealthy, or even unbalanced. In this video, I'm going to break down the biggest mistakes that people make when they are trying to cut body fat. The first mistake is shredding too aggressively. The idea is that you cut calories drastically to try and lose fat drastically. The reason why it's wrong is rapid fat loss can lead to muscle loss too, especially in your face. This can result in a gaunt, hollow appearance that is making you look older. It won't be the type of hollow cheeks you're thinking about, it will just look unhealthy. And dehydration also accompanies aggressive cutting, so it can leave your skin looking dry and dull. Instead, always aim for an achievable, sustainable deficit. We recommend 300 to 500 calorie deficit per day. This ensures that you are losing fat while mitigating muscular atrophy as much as you can. And make sure when you are cutting, you're staying hydrated with 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. Another huge mistake that you guys make when you're trying to cut is you neglect nutrients. You cannot just focus on calorie reduction and forget about nutrient density. A lack of essential nutrients like vitamin A, C, E, and zinc can cause your skin to look pale, dull, and lifeless. And skimping on protein can actually lead to collagen breakdown, making your skin look saggier and more wrinkly. Instead, you need to be prioritizing nutrient-dense foods, leafy greens, anything rich in antioxidants. Ensure that you're getting your healthy fats too, like in your nuts and in your avocados. And if you are trying to cut aggressively, at least take a collagen supplement to try and support your skin elasticity in the process. Another mistake is overdoing cardio. A lot of you guys rely heavily on your cardio for fat loss. Well, you should know that excessive cardio can lead to muscle loss, again, including your face. And don't forget that overtraining will increase your cortisol levels. This is also going to cause water retention and puffiness in your face. So even though you are technically getting leaner, it won't look like it facially. So instead, always balance your cardio with strength training. Preserve the muscle mass you have while losing fat. And keep your cardio sessions moderate, ideally 3 to 4 times a week. And when you do your cardio, I would recommend focusing on high intensity interval training, otherwise known as HIIT. Another mistake that you cannot leave out is ignoring your sodium and potassium balance. A lot of people try to cut out sodium entirely, or on the contrary, some people eat too much of it. Too much sodium leads to water retention, which leads to puffiness in the face. Too little sodium, combined with low potassium, can make you look dehydrated and gaunt. Instead, you should have an adequate amount of both. Don't cut out either entirely, and don't overconsume them either. Foods that are rich in potassium, like bananas and spinach, can help balance your potassium to sodium ratio. Now, you cannot go about cutting while neglecting sleep. If you are cutting calories and training hard, but sacrificing your sleep to do so, you may get the opposite results you're looking for. A lack of sleep increases your cortisol, water retention in a puffy face, and poor sleep affects your skin's ability to repair itself, again leaving your face looking more tired and aged than it needs to be. Instead, get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every single night, and like I've mentioned before, use a silk or bamboo pillowcase to minimize skin irritation. Now here's a big one: losing fat without strengthening your jawline. You can't just go about shredding body fat to think that your jaw is going to look so much better. Fat loss can actually expose underlying muscle imbalances in your neck, making you look more asymmetrical. Without targeted exercise, your jawline will probably not look as good. So I would highly recommend checking out all the videos in the jawline section. When cutting as well, you cannot overlook hydration. I know I stress this a lot, but that is because it needs to be stressed. People often drink less water to appear leaner or more dry, but dehydration causes your skin to lose its elasticity, and water retention ironically increases when you're dehydrated, which will make your face more puffy. So instead, stay hydrated 2 to 3 liters every day. I will keep saying this. Another thing to keep in mind if you are on this cut: do not obsess over the weight on the scale. You cannot just focus on the pounds that you're losing instead of your body composition. Chasing lower and lower numbers can lead to excessive muscle loss. Instead, you should be focusing on your body fat percentage. Be taking pictures and measuring it visually, because you may be gaining muscle, and losing fat. Your weight could stay pretty much the same despite you're actually improving your physique. So don't get too obsessed with the number on the scale. Use it as a guide, but not a holy grail. And I would highly recommend taking progress pictures every week in the same spot, in the same lighting. That way there in 6 weeks' time, you can look back and visibly see the amount of progress you've made. Now, especially when you get lean, you will have more of your neck muscles on show. And the mistake is having poor posture and tension in your neck and jaw. Tension can create uneven muscle development, and when you're lean, you will see it far more. So you need to practice good posture throughout the day, Mackenzie chin tucks, and it all ties back into jaw. So again, check those videos out. Shredding is an art. If you do it right, you can completely transform your body and your face. But cutting corners and trying to take shortcuts can lead you to have the opposite results, leaving you looking less attractive. So focus on balance, proper nutrition, and sustainable habits that you can maintain long term. Best of luck, gang.